Hi folks, you're with Tacitus today at your Pushback channel, and thank you for joining this live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about reality and how we live in a world that's fast becoming the opposite of reality. And not only are we losing reality itself, but we're having unreality forced upon us, in fact, shoved down our necks. And where is this going to lead? And we've got an elite class who, because they can get away with this unreality and forcing it upon us, they're at a point now where they believe their own bullshit, and that's not going to lead us to a good place. So, just talking about some examples of it here. Now, I was in this is a customer's office, and we had to walk through the human resources department, and there was a young human resources officer, operative, that was really quite viciously dressing down and bullying and threatening and heckling and hassling a young sort of pansy boy type guy. And she was going hard at it and had that natural unpleasantness that human resources people seem to have. But there's big signs sort of just over on the wall behind her desk saying that the company policy, company had strict policies against bullying, that bullying would not be tolerated, and if you were bullied, report it to HR and all this. And I don't think the irony of the sign there was, but that was a quite classic case of bullying in my view. Now, if I'd been in charge there, which I wasn't, but if I'd been in charge there, that had come to my notice, I wouldn't have put up with that, no matter what somebody's misdeeds, alleged or otherwise. That sort of carry on's not acceptable at all, nor is someone who appears to derive such enjoyment from doing it. That's not acceptable. You don't employ people like that. If they get off on being that unpleasant, then they need to look for another job. So anyway, there was, but have you noticed that when the globalists and their stooges in the Democrat Party decide to rig an election, for example, before they do that, they'll start putting out stories of, see those other guys there, they're trying to steal our democracy, kill our democracy, them over there. And this is while the Democrats are busily, actively and energetically going about stealing and crushing the democracy or the rule of law, all these things. And because they're so, because they control the media or 95% of it, and because they're so vociferous and adamant, and the gravitas and sobriety of an Adam Schiff or a Chuck Schumer or in the microphone going, look, it's Donald Trump, our democracy is under threat, it's them, they're doing it. And so people kind of, well, I think you guys are doing it, but I don't know now. I'm not so sure anymore. I know that democracy is being taken away, but I don't know who's doing it now. I'm confused. There are so many, and if you get all the CNN and MSNBC, all those guys howling into the television, it's them, the other guys, they're doing it, and we're under threat, and we have to stop it. And so, I just don't know who's doing it anymore. So they can create a false reality. Now, in any totalitarian regime, the government, the elite, they try to create the reality. So the reality isn't the reality, it's the reality they create, an invented reality. Maybe there are some aspects of reality in it, but if those aspects come up and in any way sort of interfere with them implementing their agenda, they just pretend it doesn't exist, or say that other people are doing it. So say the communist planners in Soviet Russia would fuck up and there'd be major problems. So they wouldn't admit that. They would get the media that they control would then go around and say, well, look, it's counter-revolutionaries. It's them, they're doing it. Or maybe the workers aren't committed enough, or you didn't try hard enough, or you should have, your neighbour fucked it up. Inform on your neighbour, and so on. But they wouldn't accept the reality was that they fucked up. They would create this alternative reality. Now we're in the same situation now, where the globalists are forcing, and I do mean forcing, a new way of financial social organisation on the Western world, and nobody wants it. No one, there'd be very few that would vote for it if they realised what was going on. So they have to have control of the media to deceive the populace while and blow smoke into the room while all this is going on. So this is part of the unreality of it. But you look at any organisation. You look at, say, job adverts online job boards, and you can have more information about the company's alleged values in the advert than you do about the job. So they'll start talking, in the advert, they'll say, well, our values are honesty and integrity. And that it's the opposite of the reality. If an organisation's got, well, we believe in honesty, integrity on the front door, I'm 99.9% sure that they're absolute scoundrels, and they'll screw you as soon as look at you. That one, the example I gave you about, we don't tolerate bullying around here. And pretty much everywhere I went in that organisation, there are examples of bullying. Even the way they talk to us was with that tone of threat and bullying sort of in there, and which they of course didn't need to do. But it's and other organisations, we believe in taking care of our people are our greatest asset, and they've got a 10 million% staff turnover because everyone fucking hates the place and gets treated like shit. So we're in a world now where opposites speak is the verbal currency that we live in. The media lies to us non-stop, other than again small pockets of it. We've got some good online channels that or platforms that are pretty good for the news. But they're under resourced. They don't have the sort of resources that CNN or some outfit does. So in terms of an all packaged up news and information and current affairs source, there's not a whole lot out of there. Parts of Fox News are probably the only ones left now. So they can create a reality. So once the globalists have decided what they want to do, they think, okay, this is how we have to play it. This is the reality we have to push on the populace. Accuse these guys of doing such and such, say this, do that, but invent the following we want this reality to be pushed out on the population. And they've got the media and the power and everything to do that now. So that's the world we're living in with that opposite. Or you can even go to things like school boards. We believe in education for the children. Education is number one for us. When they're running around teaching, critical race theory and every Marxist lesbian bullshit thing under the sun is being pushed. They don't care about the children's education. That's nonsense. But they claim to do it. They pretend there's this very showy claim that doing, or having drag queens reading stories to children in kindergarten age children in libraries and that sort of thing. We're only trying to encourage children to be involved in literature, to read books. Your love of reading, that's what we're trying to do. No, you don't need a screaming drag queen to do but we care about the children. No, you don't. You're trying to indoctrinate them with Marxist left-wing globalist bullshit. So this is how our reality is being stolen from us. Now, there were one time a lot of institutions, the media being primary among them, that would fight back against this and would point it out and would ridicule it out of existence. But those safeguards, those safety valves don't exist anymore. The globalists have taken all of them away. So we've got to find new ways of fighting back against this and say, hey, reality is that you're trying to steal democracy from, that you're trying to neutralise any voice that people have. You're trying to, and look at the January 6th Commission. I mean, if there isn't a more rabid example of stealing due legal process, the rule of law, the rules of evidence, then I don't think there is one. That's got to be the most classic example. So these are the sort of things, but they're putting it out there. that no, we're just enforcing the law. Insurrection, Nazis, fascists, white supremacists. But in fact, that's all the lies, just to run cover. But they've got enough clout now controlling the media to run those sort of lies and controlling all the institutions. Even most of the Republican Party in the US, they're fucking hopeless. They're not standing up to this, and they should. You've been with Tacitus today at your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.